Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. I'm going live with you because I wanted to share something that has been on my mind for a little bit now. And a lot of you were asking about the effects of the technique that I am using, metaphysical anatomy, and what it actually does. So, what a better way to describe that to you other than just telling you exactly what happened to me during the process and how I feel after. So, I'm going to tell you a story about one of my healing sessions done with one of my colleagues. We do swaps. Metaphysical anatomy is a great self-healing technique. You can use it on yourself, and I do use it on myself. But for certain problems, it is better when someone else facilitates for you, and you can fully experience the change then. So being fully in the driver's seat and letting someone else be the driver of the vehicle of change. So what I was working on, I don't actually remember. And that is the beauty of metaphysical anatomy. I don't remember the problem anymore. I don't remember what it was exactly and how I felt before. We did the healing. So what happened? I asked one of my colleagues to facilitate for me, and I think the issue was about being visible or working with people. Something along those lines. I didn't feel fully ready to do something in my business. So when this friend guided the healing session, at the end, when you finally resolve and dissolve the underlying emotional trauma, depending on the facilitator, they will guide you through a certain visualization that will give you certain affirmations. So this a friend had given me a lot of time and grace to integrate the changes as they were going. And I had a very, very vivid vision of myself. And I didn't know back then during the vision what resource is actually being recovered. But this is what happened. I had a vision of myself being in the forest, being very close to Mother Nature, and I could feel the damp soil under my feet, just sitting in my room having this experience. And I also felt music drumming in my body. You know how you go to a concert and you feel the bass and you can feel it in your chest? So I felt it in my body very, very vividly. And I saw myself as a child, maybe 8, maybe 10-year-old child, in the forest dancing around a fire, and there was also a very old lady sitting there, and I have noticed that I am her as well. So I had two perspectives looking at the same scene, and also me myself just sitting in my room and experiencing all that. And I saw the entire scene through the eyes of the old woman and how she was looking at the child dancing and having fun and making mistakes and dancing like the world is not watching and having fun with everything and just watching and just looking and just experiencing that girl doing whatever she was doing. And I remember seeing the smile on that old woman's face, and in the heart there was an experience of light, that fluorescent yellow light just glowing out of that heart and coming from me as an old person towards the younger version of myself. And I also saw the scene at the same time from a perspective of that girl dancing. My feet got cold because I still felt the dampness of the forest floor, right? And I was in the scene for a little bit, just experiencing that dance in the forest. And what was happening, that beautiful yellow light that was coming from the old woman was then transferred to the kid, in a metaphorical way. And I felt that light coming from the older version of me to a younger version of me, and it gave me such an amazing emotion of everything is going to be all right, that when my facilitator finally called me back to the present moment and asked me to describe what's going on, what I'm feeling, and I told her about this light going towards me, and she asked me, what does this light feel like? Just give me one word, 1, 2, 3, what is it? And I said compassion. It just came out of me, and I felt chills all over my body, and this beautiful light just started glowing inside of me. And it all happens while my eyes are closed and I have this very intense vision. If the facilitator sees that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're here on this live, I felt in each and every cell in my body my own compassion, my ability to sit there and watch and be with myself as I am dancing on the scene, on the scene called life. And as I am performing my act of living in this life, a wiser, a more peaceful, more accepting, that to me, my grandma's love feels like that compassion, just being with me, letting me be, and being there in case something really bad happens. She's there to catch me and to help me. But more, other than that, she just watches and lets me experience my life and looks at my actions with a loving eye, seeing that I am experiencing and learning from my own experience, and that mistakes are needed, and I have my capacity, my resource of compassion now active in me. You get excited when I talk about it. Active in me to actually observe as I am going through my life, as I am changing, healing, as I am living, right? So what metaphysical anatomy does, because it works within, it works, the first level that it works is very non-physical. Then the physicality is then the end expression of everything that happened. To each of you experiencing these changes, being a receiver of healing through this technique, you will feel it in a different way, and you will find different words to describe what's changing and what is being recovered, not activated, because you always said it with you. It just has been temporarily forgotten, maybe buried under the dirt of experiences that we have in our life, the beliefs that no longer serve us, the emotional trauma that we did not complete. It is there. It exists in you. But we know we don't always have access to it, but we can recover that. We can get it back. So to tell you everything in a very, very simple, using very simple words, metaphysical anatomy will dissolve the problem at the core, so you no longer have neural connections in your brain that make it possible for you to go back to the original problem and experience it the same way. You will remember what it was, but you will not remember how it felt. They will no longer activate it in you. They will no longer trigger you. For me, I even forgot what the original problem was. I know it was something along the lines of being visible and accepting, I don't know, people coming in asking for help. I think it was that. I don't know, but I do remember very, very viscerally in my body, I can connect to the experiences that I had during the recovery process of the emotional resource that has been suppressed. And that stays with you, and that will always stay with you. And once you recover whatever it is that you needed at the time of trauma in the past, or maybe it has been something that you inherited from your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors, when that resource that back then was not available for whatever reason is now raising up, coming up, and you can feel it in your body. Once you feel it and you connect with that emotion, you will be able to recall it, just like you are able to recall how a lemon tastes. A lemon. Just imagine eating a lemon and you already have something happening in your mouth, and you can recall the smell of it, and you can recall the acidity of it, and also the brightness and the liveness of it, and how it makes you feel when you are cutting it open, and what happens in your body. This is the same thing that happens when you recover a resource and you connect with it. So if you would like, if what I am saying right now makes sense, and you are very, very interested in recovering your own suppressed resources that you do not believe you have access day to day in your life to, whatever that resource is. Maybe it's compassion, maybe it's love, maybe it's patience, maybe it is inclusion, maybe it is connection, maybe it's something else for you. Okay, you don't really have to know what it is. The process of metaphysical anatomy will help you discover that, integrate that back with the entire being of yours, with each and every cell, your emotional body, your mental body, and all the energetic bodies that you have. And once you have it recovered, you will remember, and you will remember vividly, and you will be able to connect with it and use it whenever you need it. So I am inviting you to send me a message if you're interested in working with me using metaphysical anatomy. And if there's anything in your life that weighs heavy on you and it's a recurring problem, and you're not sure whether or not an emotional trauma could be at the base of it, at the root of it, send me a message. You can you can write a comment down below, or send me a message if it's too much to publicly disclose. Let's have a conversation. We can each and every time discover emotions that are at the root cause of what is it that you are experiencing. Sometimes it needs a little bit of layering and work and peeling it like an onion, and sometimes it just comes through. And the best thing is, you don't have to know what it is. It just comes. And with a skilled facilitator that is able to guide you through this healing session in a way where you are not reliving the pain from the past, but you are very, very strongly feeling the emotions, the positive emotion resources coming back to you, then you will have a beautiful resource that you can use for the rest of your life, again and again and again. And what else you recover, what other stories you then finally understand, what else happens that not even words are not able to describe, they stay with you. So for those interested in working together using metaphysical anatomy, or maybe you have more questions about the process, maybe you want to know what else changed in my life, how else I used it, has there been any specific problems that you are interested in? Maybe I healed it in myself on one of my clients, and I can tell you the story of their healing. Maybe that will be beneficial to you. Let me know, okay? So I am hoping that this little short story made sense to you, and it's my greatest hope and wish for you to be able to recover your own resources yourself. I know you can do it, and I know it's available to you. Okay, so I'm wishing you all a great rest of your Sunday, or a beautiful start to your Monday, and we'll chat soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.